In a quiet, picturesque town nestled between rolling hills and a pristine river, there lived a woman named Eleanor. Eleanor was not your typical resident. She was known far and wide for her indomitable spirit and her unwavering belief in the power of hope. Whenever adversity struck, Eleanor's resilience shone through, like a beacon of light guiding those around her. She had a saying that she lived by, one that had become the mantra of the town. When the world says, "Give up," hope whispers, "Try one more time." Eleanor had experienced her fair share of challenges in life. She had faced poverty, heartbreak, and loss, but each time she had emerged stronger, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. The townsfolk revered her for her wisdom and admired her for her boundless compassion. Eleanor was not a wealthy woman, nor was she particularly educated, but her heart was a treasure trove of empathy and understanding. One sunny morning, as Eleanor was sitting on her porch, sipping her tea and gazing out at the rolling hills, a young man named Samuel approached her. Samuel was a recent newcomer to the town and had heard of Eleanor's remarkable spirit. He had come to her with a heavy heart, burdened by his own troubles. "Eleanor," Samuel began, "I've heard about your unwavering hope, and I desperately need some of that hope in my life right now. I feel like I've hit a dead end, and giving up seems like the only option." Eleanor smiled warmly and motioned for Samuel to sit beside her. "My dear," she said, "I've heard that sentiment countless times. Sometimes when we're at our lowest point, it's hard to see any other way. But I promise you, there's always a glimmer of hope, even in the darkest of times." With that, Samuel began to share his story. He had moved to the town in search of a fresh start, leaving behind a life of pain and disappointment. However, he had been struggling to find employment and had reached a point where he felt defeated. The weight of his past mistakes and the harsh reality of the present had taken a toll on his spirit. Eleanor listened attentively, her eyes filled with understanding. "Samuel, it's true that life can be incredibly challenging," she said, "but I've learned that hope is a choice, one that we must make every day. When we're faced with adversity, it's easy to surrender to despair, but that's precisely when we need to summon our inner strength. Have you considered trying one more time, even when the world says, 'Give up'?" During this time, Samuel took on the role of leading the community garden project. His commitment to the cause was unwavering, and he inspired others with his determination. Together, they transformed the barren land into a lush, thriving garden that provided fresh produce for the town. The garden became a symbol of what could be achieved when people refused to give in to despair and chose to nurture the whisper of hope. The town's spirits were lifted, and they learned that together they could overcome even the most challenging obstacles. Eleanor continued to be the beacon of hope for the town, and her words were often quoted by the townsfolk when they faced adversity. She was not just a source of inspiration, but a pillar of strength who showed them that hope was not a fleeting emotion, but a force that could bring about real change. One winter, the town faced a particularly harsh snowstorm. The blizzard raged for days, cutting off the town from the outside world. With limited supplies and heating, the townspeople began to worry. Eleanor's home, being the warmest in the town, became a refuge for those in need. She welcomed them with open arms, providing shelter and comfort to all who sought it. As the storm raged on, Eleanor told stories of hope and resilience to lift their spirits. She recounted tales of individuals who had faced seemingly insurmountable odds and emerged victorious because they had chosen to try one more time. The stories she shared were a reminder that even in the harshest of winters, the warmth of hope could sustain them. The storm eventually passed, and the town emerged stronger than ever. The people had not only survived, but had grown closer as a community. They realized that Eleanor's unwavering belief in hope had been the driving force that had pulled them through. As the years passed, Samuel's life continued to improve. He married and had children, and he shared the wisdom he had gained from Eleanor with his own family. The belief in hope and the power to persevere became a cherished family tradition that was passed down from generation to generation. Eleanor, in her old age, continued to be a source of inspiration for the town. Though her physical strength waned, her spirit remained unbroken. Her porch became a gathering place for people of all ages, who came to seek her advice and wisdom. One spring day, as the flowers bloomed and the river flowed freely once more, Samuel brought his young daughter, Lily, to visit Eleanor. He wanted her to meet the woman who had changed his life and the lives of so many others, who had changed his life and the lives of so many others in the town. Lily's eyes widened with curiosity as she observed the elderly woman who sat on the porch, her eyes sparkling with a kind of wisdom that came from a lifetime of experiences. Eleanor welcomed Lily with a warm smile, her eyes crinkling at the corners. "Hello, my dear," she said gently. "What brings you here today?" Samuel knelt down beside his daughter and said, "Lily, this is Eleanor. She's the one I've told you so much about, the one who taught me the power of hope." Lily's face lit up with recognition. "You're the one who said, 'When the world says give up,' Hope whispers, 'try one more time.'" Eleanor chuckled softly, pleased to hear her own words echoed by the younger generation. "That's right, dear. Hope is a precious gift that we can carry with us throughout our lives." Samuel looked at Eleanor with gratitude in his eyes. "Eleanor, you've been a beacon of hope for all of us, and you've taught us that even in the darkest moments, there's always a reason to keep trying." Eleanor's gaze shifted to the blooming flowers in her garden, their vibrant colors a testament to the resilience of nature. "Life is like these flowers, my dear," she said. "They may wither in the winter, but they always bloom again in the spring. Just as nature never gives up, neither should we." As the sun began to set, Eleanor shared more stories with Lily, passing down the wisdom she had accumulated over the years. She spoke of the importance of kindness, empathy, and the power of community, reinforcing the idea that hope wasn't just a solitary endeavor, but a shared journey.
In the years that followed, the town continued to prosper, and the mantra of hope became ingrained in the hearts of all its inhabitants. Eleanor's porch remained a place of solace and inspiration for people of all ages, and she continued to be a source of wisdom for generations. As time passed, Eleanor's health began to decline, and the town noticed her frailty. They rallied together to care for her in her final years, just as she had cared for them in their times of need. It was during this period that Samuel's daughter, Lily, who had grown into a young woman, became Eleanor's primary caregiver. She spent countless hours by Eleanor's side, listening to her stories and providing comfort. Eleanor knew that her time in this world was drawing to a close, but she faced it with the same unwavering hope that had defined her life. As she lay on her bed, surrounded by loved ones, she whispered to Lily, "Remember, my dear, even when I'm gone, hope will always be with you. It lives in your heart, and you must pass it on to those who need it most." Lily nodded with tears in her eyes, her heart heavy with the impending loss of her beloved mentor. She understood the immense responsibility that lay before her, to carry forward the legacy of hope that Eleanor had gifted to their town. Eleanor's passing was a somber moment for the town, but it was also a time of reflection and gratitude. The town came together to celebrate her life and the enduring impact she had made. They planted a magnificent garden in her honor, filled with the most vibrant and resilient flowers they could find. It served as a living reminder of the indomitable spirit of hope. The legacy of Eleanor's wisdom lived on, not just in the hearts of the townsfolk but in the very fabric of their community. Her words, "When the world says, give up, hope whispers, try one more time," continued to be their guiding light through both the joys and challenges of life. In the years that followed, the town continued to flourish. They had learned that hope was not just a fleeting emotion, it was a steadfast companion that could lead them through the darkest of times. Eleanor's spirit lived on in the kindness, resilience, and unwavering hope of the people she had touched. Is a whisper of hope that can inspire us all to try one more time.